Countdown's on screen. Yeah. Don't forget to tell them about next week.
Good evening, everybody. This is the voice of Agrode, and if you're actually watching, you can see that this is a face of Agrode as well. I'm the founder and CEO of Splinterlands, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you this evening. Today we have some of our regulars aren't here. We're missing Chatter. We're missing Nate. So we have a couple substitutes. We have a couple people that we'd like you to meet from the team and just get to keep getting a sense of who's here and what do we do around here. We're blessed to go have a developer with us. His name is Cryptomancer. I don't know what percentage of the code base Cryptomancer is responsible for at this point, but I think it's safe to say a lot. This man has coded an enormous amount of Splinterlands in the game that you play. So looking forward to hear from him, especially around modern versus wild and what that looks like and when things are going live and how things are coming. So sometimes it's nice to hear from Hardpoint on kind of like, the big kind of like the big picture of what's going on. And then sometimes it's really nice to just talk to individual devs so we can find out like, hey, what's going on with this particular project. So I think we should go dive right into it with Cryptomancer and just talk about the update and see, hey, maybe you can start off just by talking about what is Modern and Wild, why are we doing it, and if there's anybody that's listening, let's start with an introduction of you and then go into that quick project.
Hello.
But yeah, there we go.
I'm one of the main core developers for Splinterlands. I've been with the company a bit more than 2 years now. I've done a lot of the feature development for things that you do every day, like collection power, anytime tournaments, brawls, the Chaos Legion sale, and most recently Modern and Wild. And Modern and Wild is we're coming into the finish line on it, and I'm really, really excited about it. I hope you guys are too. Um, Basically, what we're aiming to do with this project is split the ranked mode of play into two formats, a modern format and a wild format. The wild format will be like what it is right now, where you can use all the cards from all the different editions in your battles. And the modern format will restrict battles to only the two most recent main card sets. So that is Chaos Legion and Untamed, and the child sets that go with them. So dice, basically any card that has a Chaos Legion or an Untamed card frame. So that also means some of the reward cards and a handful of promo cards. And I've shown some screenshots before of what that'll look like, but there'll be a big Modern and Wild toggle on the battle screen, so you can switch between the two formats, and you can decide which format you want to play in, based on the kind of deck you have, what is the most comfortable play style for your deck.
What's a big advantage to players for this? Like why did we spend so much time doing this, and why should players be excited?
Well, one big advantage is I think all of the newer players will have chance more competitive in not have to worry about facing off so much against all those old rare cards that are now really expensive and really difficult to acquire. So it makes the game more accessible for a wider number of people. It'll level the playing field a lot for newer players.
What about the older players? Why would they like this? If there's like another set that doesn't require all of their cards, is that just a net loss for them? Do they hate this? Are they gonna fight this? Or what's the advantage for the older players?
Well, the benefits for them are we're introducing another DEC reward pool. So there's now going to be separate reward pools for the modern and the wild format. And I anticipate for the wild format, perhaps there will be slightly less people playing in that format than the modern format. There are less of those older cards in circulation. And so if you're playing in the wild format with a completely separate rewards pool, you might be able to make a slightly more DEC than if you were to play in the modern format.
Yeah, that I think is kind of one of the big things here is that if all we were doing was shrinking the reward pool or splitting it in half, I could see people getting upset. But what we're literally doing is um, adding more DEC to the pool, and as you guys earn that, you're able to buy cards, buy packs, upgrade your guilds. There's a variety of things that you can do in the game with an additional an earning capacity. Okay, so just to clarify, will it always be Chaos Legion and Untamed, or over time might the league like what leagues or what cards play into Modern will change?
It's going to change over time. So the idea is it will always be the two most recent core editions and any associated child editions. So, like, Dice was the child edition for Untamed. Rift Watchers, the upcoming Rift Watchers, will be the child edition for Chaos Legion. So that'll be modern. And then when we Rebellion later on, Rebellion will be the next main core set. So at that time, the modern format will shift to being Rebellion and Chaos Legion. So it'll be changing over time as more sets get introduced.
No doubt. I'm seeing memes of me appear. Thanks, Ron.
That's a good one.
Okay. When all right, so we're gonna break it down. There's some questions around like, can I play in both? What if I have cards from the Wild League and the Modern League? Can I play in both? What about the leaderboard for both? Like, what's that all look
You
like?
absolutely can play in both. Yes, you can play in both. You can switch back and forth between the two, or you can concentrate on whichever one you're more comfortable with. There will be separate leaderboards for both. So it will be possible for you to actually compete in the leaderboards in both and actually win a leaderboard prize for mild and a leaderboard prize for modern. I expect that will be fairly difficult though, because there's going to be just the single energy capture rate, which is shared between both formats. So you're going to have to strategize and decide really which one you want to focus on the most.
Why did we do that? Why didn't we do ECR for both? What's the point? First off, what's the point of ECR? And then second off, why did we choose to do one for both modern and wild rather than one for each?
Well, the point of ECR is to make it so that bots and humans have a level playing field. So obviously, a bot can play way more battles than a human. A human simply can't sit there all day and do 1,000 battles. But ECR makes it so that if a human player does, say, 30 battles in a day, and a bot does, I don't know, 300, or then they'll still make the same rewards. Each of those battles from the human player will count more rewards wise than tons and tons of battles for a bot. And for modern and wild, we don't want you to feel like you're going to be forced to suddenly play double the games. We don't want people freaking out and saying, oh, I need to do all my games in wild, and then, oh, I also need to do all my games in modern. That's not the case. So we want you to play the format that you're most comfortable in and really choose. Well, I think I'm better for modern, so maybe I'll play a few games in both, but I'm really gonna concentrate on modern, and having the one ECR allows you to do that without feeling like you need to play a ton more games.
Okay. So what else? What else is part of this? We got ECR, Modern, Wild. We have rank like rewards for both, and we've doubled the pools of DEC that goes out to players. What what else is part of this? What else can we expect? And how do you think this will change the game for most of the people playing?
Well, thing that's important to think about is how the chest tier is determined for your season rewards and your daily focus, because there's still only going to be the one daily focus, and there's still only going to be one set of season rewards. That's not suddenly going to double. So right now, the season rewards are based on the maximum league you achieved in the previous season. Going forward, the season rewards are going to be based on the maximum league achieved in the previous season between the modern and wild formats. So if you were gold in modern last season, but you were diamond in wild, then your season chests are going to be diamond level. So that's another important thing you're going to have to take into consideration and strategize on. And
Yeah.
there's a few other things, but we're going to be putting out an announcement post soon, a bit later this week, that'll have all the details, so you can see what to expect and what the full list of changes are.
Sweet. Um, okay, well, this all sounds pretty awesome. Like how close are we? What's rollout look like? And when do I get to see it? How will I experience it? What's that process look like?
So we are getting very close. Modern and Wild has been undergoing internal testing for like the last week and a half or so, and it's been going really smoothly. We haven't found any major issues or bugs with it. So we're getting very close to opening it up to the Mavericks for public testing, and I think that is going to happen sometime later this week. So keep your eyes on the Mavericks channel. I'll put out some notice when we actually start that. And as far as a release date, we do have a date in mind internally. I don't want to share it yet because I don't want to jinx it. Uh, Previously, Hardpoint has talked about aiming to launch by the end of July. I think if the testing goes smoothly, we will be able to beat that target and launch a bit earlier. But I don't want to commit to a certain date for sure until we're a little closer. But I can say we expect it to be soon. Everything is going well so far, and just keeping my fingers crossed that no last minute issues come up. But right now, it's looking really good.
When we released the ranked rewards changes, we put out something like the new daily focus. And when we did it, we said, we know the daily focus isn't like fully developed, but we're going to roll this thing out anyways, and we'll fix that later. We need to get this next piece out. Is there anything like that for this? Is this kind of like feature complete? Is there anything big that you think that we still have to do? Like, how is this like a really big phased rollout? Is this the one piece? How many stages do you think this is?
I would say it's feature complete at this point. Originally, we were planning to do it in a couple different phases, but that kind of all got rolled into one phase. One thing I forgot to mention is that tournament support will be included from the get-go, from day
Oh,
one.
nice.
So we will
I
have true modern and wild tournaments, and
Yep.
WeirdBeard, I think, is very happy about that.
WeirdBeard, do you want to go talk about that right now? Actually, first start just by introducing yourself and then talk about tournaments.
Sure. Hello, I'm WeirdBeard. I do esports and tournaments and competitive stuff. And yeah, so we're going to be having modern and wild tournaments. As it's been right now, one of the biggest kind of handicaps that you miss in some of those tournaments that are modern and wild is you don't get to play reward cards that are included in modern wild. And you should be able to do that moving forward, which is super dope. But it will also allow us to be able to support a healthier ecosystem when you're actually like looking at the tournaments, right? Like we can finally do true modern and true wild and not have to like kind of fidget around it like we're doing it the right way, which is super exciting.
And does that, we're not, to my knowledge, we're not just doubling the reward pool for tournaments. So do you want to talk about how modern and wild play into how the distribution of prizes go out, and
Yeah, so I
maybe.
mean, one of the ways that we currently do it right now is based off of the entry requirements, right? How much collection power you need and how much staked SPS you need. In the modern and wild tournaments, you actually have two different CP calculations, right? So we're still making it so that the different tournaments are a factor of how much it is to be able to get in, which means that those wild tournaments are going to be a little bit more there's a little more prizing there just because there are more higher CP and higher SPS staking requirements. So nothing truly changes other than the fact that you get to play more cards and you have cards that are able to count towards those different the different CPs that you need for each modern and wild.
And as you've talked to people, does this change the system much? Is this just kind of like adding a couple reward cards, or how? You're really in the weeds with the people. What's the response so far?
I think they're excited, especially because that modern CP is very important, right? Like some of those tournaments are just backbreakingly hard to get into when it's, hey, I may have a gajillion CP, but then I need way more staked SPS. The modern and wild calculations actually make it, since you can add in those reward cards into your CP, makes it super easy for people to be able to get in some of those different tournaments. I think people are also excited for the possibility of like at least keeping up support with what we're doing. We would love to eventually be able to make it so that modern and wild are going to be able to move. So like, well, as Rift Watchers comes out and that becomes part of the modern set and other things don't, it makes it easier to be able to keep up like the Chaos Legion only tournaments that we're doing right now.
So tell me, try to be as specific and prescriptive as you can. What will change about these tournaments? So like we have the quote unquote modern tournaments,
Mhm.
but is it just like in the setup it's just one toggle where now
Yes.
rewards cards are added, or is there anything else? Are you expecting like major changes to distribution of prizes or new tournaments, or is this really like just a pretty gentle tweak to the overall tournament system?
It's gentle, but it's not like unnoticeable. You know what I mean? Like it's there. It's definitely going to make tournaments that are probably more accessible for more people. With some of the different like ways that it just gets calculated. Like I said, now that you can include those reward cards. Um, but really, like it's also the other big thing too is it's going to be adding in the diamond tournaments again, right? So like one of the issues that we've had when we look at champion and diamond level tournaments is they were kind of double dippy. If you could get into the into the diamond level tournaments, you could also get into the champion level tournaments. You know what I mean? So the same people were competing in both. Now when you see hey, there's also a modern diamond and a wild diamond, people don't just get into all four. Like Cryptomancer said, you really have to kind of focus on which one like you're going to knock out of the park. So you're going to be able to see more competitiveness in that diamond level tournaments as opposed to like just it's another thing for champion level players to come and kind of flex their muscles on a little bit.
Okay. Anything to add on any of that, Cryptomancer? Is that anything else that we missed or should add about tournaments specifically for Modern and Wild?
I think that covers it. And other third-party tournament creators will also be able to take advantage of creating either a modern or a wild tournament. It's just going to be another toggle option on the list of tournament creation options.
Okay.
And
Um,
I'm expecting like now when all of this rolls out, it's going to be similar to our other big projects in that we might keep tinkering with it a bit. So I would expect there could be an evolution of things over time. There could be small adjustments, things we might want to change once we see how it actually works out in practice, just like any of our other big releases. Um, I know that further on, the creative team also wants to introduce an evolved, upgraded UI. So that'll be coming along later in the year. So it's not going to be a static thing that never changes again. It'll continue to evolve over time along with the rest of the game.
Now, when you're anything else you want to add about tournaments in general? Or not tournaments. I mean, Modern Wild in general. Do we miss anything else?
Nope, that's pretty much it. So the TLDR is it's almost finished. Testing is going well. Expect testing with the Mavs to open up later this week.
And then once this is done, do you have a sense of what your next project is? Has that been floated around, or do you know, hey, this is my next priority?
Nothing's really set in stone yet. Those are some discussions we need to have internally. What I'm hoping to do is spend a little bit of time on brawls, because I know that's one area of the game that is in need of a bit of love, and there's been a lot of discussion about that with the community so far. So I would really like to turn my attention to getting SPS rewards added to brawls, and perhaps a couple of other things. That'll be a relatively smaller scale project that shouldn't take long. So I'm hoping to squeeze in some of that before I move on to some other really big major project.
WeirdBeard, what's the feedback you've gotten with the community around? Didn't you just host your brawls town hall?
Yeah, Town Brawl, the Brawl Hall, whatever you want to call it, on Friday.
Brawlhalla.
Brawlhalla. But yeah, we hosted that on Friday. We got a lot of feedback. I think it was like an hour straight of just me reading stuff that people wanted us to see. I think we kind of came away like we have some action points, I think, for brawls. One of the main takeaways is making sure that we look at the distribution of phrase. One of the main feedback points was that there are a ton of gold foil alpha and beta phrase that just sometimes don't get filled at a very high rate. People also asking for SPS inclusion in brawls and phrase. And the other big thing too is making sure that there's an incentive for the way that the payout structures are for people to want to go up the ladder instead of like smurfing in lower tiers and just collecting and never moving up.
Yeah. Did people talk about like staking requirements in brawls in order to earn maximum amounts of SPS? Has that been a discussion?
I mean, not like explicitly. A lot of the stuff that we gathered, I'm putting together the whole like diagnostics of it and everything, but it's like way more people are just they don't know the answer, and we're gonna talk about it internally about what's gonna be the best way to make it so that new players are able to do it, and then the people that aren't as worried about how long like gladiator cards take to level up. If you're looking for like the short-term solution, SPS is a really good short-term solution. Whereas there's other people who are interested in leveling up those gladiator cards that take forever to be able to do.
Yeah, that's a grind. You're
But I mean,
welcome
it's
for
worth
that.
it. Like it's got to be cool and reward players who are like in the trenches for them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like you don't want to just be like, here you go, because they're soul bound, right? Like
yeah,
everybody gets them. You want to work on yours and have the biggest, buffest, burliest one.
yeah. I'd like to see some mechanics where, like, in order to maximize how much SPS you can earn, you have to be staking some. So maybe there's
Mhm.
some like, um, not training center, but I was thinking like a cathedral or a monastery or something, where if you
Mhm.
want to get like the maximum amount of splinter shards, you have to upgrade it, and your guild has to stake a ton to be able to get the maximum rewards.
Yeah, I think it's like there's a lot of things in there. Cryptomancer shot me. I woke up I think like yesterday morning or this morning to like a whole bunch of thoughts from digesting it. So I think what we're looking at also doing is doing them bi-weekly, like every other week, doing a brawl one, then a tournament one, then a brawl one, then a tournament one. Just to be like really specific, right? Like it'd be great to do an entire brawl hall all about the store. Like what items do we want to see in the store? What do you like about it? What don't you like? It's way easier to get better feedback when we have it like hella scoped in, as opposed to just like, what does everybody like and not like?
Yeah, totally agree with it. You got it, and even then you got to be careful, because I remember Henry Ford made some comment of something like, if I had asked my customers what what they would have wanted, they would have said a faster horse.
Hmm.
right? So like really trying to suss out, what is it that you really want or need in this product or platform, is not just simply taking words verbatim, because a lot of folks are not like game designers, and translating that into like feature sets that get to the underlying root cause or root, criteria by which they're judging by. In that case, it's not a faster horse, it's just more speed. So, how do I get them something that can travel faster?
Well, what's great is like I don't try to think like I know the answers. All I'm doing is like collecting stuff and giving it to the people smarter than me, which is like a great position to be in because it's just I'm just crowdsourcing. You guys can do what you want to do on it. So it's a lot of fun being able to engage with the community and like be like, put it on the list, man. We'll be able to sort through and see it at the end of the day. But at least you gave the feedback and we were able to go from there. Like
Yeah,
we did a data collection that had over what 150 something people submit answers about their feedback on exactly what they want. Like that's a ton of like just written out data for you to be able to go through.
sweet. Manser, is there something in particular that you are personally wanting to put in? Like what's your highest priority item? And have you seen that feedback? Does it align with the feedback that has come in?
Town myself and suggested a few things. But what I would most like to see added in the near term is SPS rewards. So that's what I'm really hoping to be able to work on immediately after Modern and Wild. And then in the longer term, I think we need to flesh out the guild store. The original vision was to have a ton of items available in there, unlocking at different store levels. Um, Things like new guild banners and new player avatars, perhaps new titles, a whole host of things. So I really want to see us achieve that original vision and build out the store inventory a lot more.
Yeah, things that when I'm like designing these games, you have things that are like impacting the rules and the fighting and the gameplay. Then you have things that can impact rewards and how those get tweaked. So, doing things that increase your R shares for SPS could be exciting. Increasing things that change the rule sets or favor certain rule sets. If your guild wants to specialize in opportunity monsters, maybe getting some things making it more likely that your home matches have opportunity. There's a bunch of different like things that we can do to either tweak the gameplay or tweak the rewards based off of what individual NFTs players have. Does that sound like that's in the right ballpark?
Yep, absolutely. I'd say there's a huge number of things that we can do in different directions that we can take this in. There's a lot of potential with the brawl system, and we've really only just started to tap it. So there's a lot more that we can do there.
Yeah, like even one of the things would be because Fat Jimmy talked about it in the Discord. What about revisiting
Jimmy!
brawl reward distributions? And it's like, yeah, because one of the reasons that guilds stay in lower guilds is because you earn more stomping on lower level players than going up and taking fourth or fifth. You know what I mean? Like if you're not dead, if you don't know for sure that you're going to be taking first, it's like not a guarantee that you should move up. So making sure that the brawl distributions is even like you know what I mean? Like, it's just massaging stuff and going in and giving it that little extra elbow grease and TLC, and, brawls can really pop, I think.
We
Yeah.
also
So when
want to
you
tie brawls back into other areas of the game as well. Like right
Yes.
now, brawls are kind of their own walled off, separate area, and the rewards that you get for playing the brawls don't really impact other areas of the game. So we'd like there to be some tie-ins, like maybe give Gladius cards some uses in other areas of the game, maybe some land to tie in the future. So
yeah,
we'd like
certainly.
to really incentivize people and give a reason for playing those brawls.
Yeah, having them be able to work land is an obvious step.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep, for sure.
but there's other, whether they can have added bonuses or help you harvest faster, or items that you can acquire if you spelled enough points on it or crowns on it. There's different things that we can do for land and rewards. Um, yeah, definitely want to see, as make that thing as robust as possible. Like when we started Modern and Wild, like when you thought of like the original scope and put that together, well, you know, we said we're going to do this, and then the project was what it was. It feels like it was like substantially bigger to get done than the casual, hey, let's just go do like 2 reward sets or like 2 not 2 leagues. I don't even know what I want to call them, 2 formats. Like, was that roughly how much work you thought that was going to be initially, or did that turn into a substantially bigger product?
Oh, it doesn't seem like a lot of work when you put it that way. And I was thinking, oh, this is only going to be a month or 2. And like originally, we were thinking of having it done to coincide with the Chaos Legion launch, even, and that obviously didn't happen. But once I actually got into the work, it turned out to be much more work than we originally anticipated, and that was made even worse by the fact that we had to figure out how to integrate this thing in with all the other changes that are being made in the game at the same time. I put a comment in Mav's chat the other day saying that it was kind of similar to trying to upgrade the engine of an airplane while the airplane is in the air flying to its next destination. Not an easy thing to do.
Well, it's almost like trying to turn a boat into an airplane while driving the boat, right? Like we need liftoff, and we need it in 2 months, and it needs to do something different than being a boat.
Yeah, so it took longer than we originally thought, but working through the process, I think we've learned a lot of lessons about how to coordinate and do things with the other teams. And we're going to keep improving, keep evolving the process. And I'm really excited that this project is finally approaching the finish line. And then I'll be able to move on to the next big thing.
And you know, one of the things just about this particular conversation and how it's going, like I'm pretty excited that WeirdBeard is able to go out there, take player feedback, format it, sort of like narrow down on, you know, here's what everybody agrees on and here's what we're doing, and then pass that along to the devs. You know, at one point it was sort of like whatever Matt and I figured out and we would toss out, and sometimes that's how these things start. But you know, this is all part and parcel of like how we want the community to like be integrated into what we're doing. So it's not quite yet like stake weighted voting, but I hope you guys are seeing that our methodology is not build this stuff in a vacuum, to hell with whatever the players want. We'll build it. They can be damned. It's, you know, let's go take some extensive amount of time, figure out what they might want, and then integrate that into solutions that we're providing with the product and the platform. And you know, I hope that the audience can appreciate the like fourth wall breaking process that we do in engaging the community in deciding our roadmap. Does that sound fair to both you, WeirdBeard, and Mancer?
Yo, there's so many games that I play that I wish devs would just listen to somebody. Like, please, just you know, it's an overwhelming sentiment in plenty of games that like you're never gonna get it changed. You're talking to a brick wall. I think having input on a competitive scene is very important. Like, if the players are the ones competing, they need to have a stake in being said. Like, how do we do tournaments? How do we do brawls? So, you know, like I think it's got to happen. So that's why, to me, it's going to happen.
Sweet.
Yep, I
Mancer.
agree with that. I think it's always been really important to us to engage with the community and gather feedback on things and see what people like and don't like, and what works well, what maybe doesn't work as well. It's all part of the process of improving the game for you guys and making things better. And I think the game wouldn't be as good today if we didn't do that and didn't listen to what you guys want. So that's very much an important part of the process for us.
Rock on. Okay, anything else you want to add about Modern Wild?
Nope. So keep an eye out on the Mouse channel for QA news. Keep an eye out on our blog. We'll be publishing an announcement soon that will have all the details of the changes, so you can go over that and know exactly how it's all going to work.
Sweet. All right. Thanks, Mancer. Thanks for chiming in.
Pleasure as always.
Okay, so WeirdBeard, anything else that you would like to share, either representing the marketing team or just talking about tournaments and guilds in general?
I believe that you need to get in your orders. Is today the last day for the plushies? I
I
feel
think it's
terrible.
one more day for the plushies. I think that's 24 hours and plushie sales are over.
You got to get it in. Like all I know is that it's happening. So,
Can we get a link to that? I just
yes.
bought one today. I got Yoden.
I
did
bought
it.
both and I feel bad about it. And um yes, let's grab this link real quick. So if you are still on the fence about whether or not you're doing the Biz Kitty or the Yoden, you have 23 hours, 25 minutes, and 43 seconds. So in the chat right now, I'm dumping the Yoden one because I guess that's the one everybody wants. And then we have the Biz Kitty one.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Time is running out.
Yeah,
Get them all in the house.
Byzantine Kitty is just too cute. I do have a house full of girls that might like it. We'll see. Okay, what else do we have here? I have a fair number of introductions to go make, so I think I'm going to go hot from development and marketing. And look at that, Ron's pulling up what the Yoden plushie looks like. Can you show us how disgustingly cute the Byzantine Kitty is? Can you? Oh, there he is. Oh, it's adorable.
Oh,
So adorable. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes.
Furby
Precious.
nostalgia.
All right. All right. Well, WeirdBeard, anything other than the last of the plushie sale? Anything else you want to add?
No, but next week we are going to be holding our first tournament town hall. So be prepared for time, date, and all that kind of stuff next week.
And what's the point of it? What are you trying to do there?
It's same thing, just a quarterly checkup. We just always like to get feedback from people that are competing in brawls and tournaments and see what they're doing and what they want. You know, you got to massage the system. You can't just put it on autopilot, unfortunately.
Any data or any like how many players are playing in tournaments or anything like that you want to share?
Yeah, I can do that. I do that every Monday. So here we go. We can pull this bad boy out. Right now I can say with an overwhelming success, our beginner tournaments are blowing up. This week we had 1,463 participants in beginner tournaments from top to bottom. We also are seeing a strong growth in our gold player base. Last week 794 players in gold. This week 927. It's been going well. I'm really excited. Our Chaos Legion only series is still our most participated in series. 823 players coming in this week for the Chaos Legion only ones. So it's always nice to see people showing up for those Chaos Legion ones because so many people are able to get in.
So how many is that overall? And like, are you tracking it bi-weekly or weekly or what?
I do it week over week. So this past week we had 3,179 total participants in tournaments from 620 to 626. And that's only for the official ones, not including like community created events.
And then is that down from higher numbers at like $70,000 Bitcoin? Is that flat? Where's that stand?
It's actually generally flat. It goes up and down by like 200-300 depending on the times. Every 4 weeks we go ahead 4 hours on the tournaments. So right now, times for the tournaments start at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and 8 a.m. in Eastern time, which isn't, always great. So we see those numbers actually come back up based more around times and less around Bitcoin. 2 weeks ago we had 3,481 players entering into tournaments. So we're down 6%, but that's again, moreover, we didn't have like some tournaments happen in 1 week and they don't happen the next week. So, it's all kind of fluctuating, but it's about flat.
Yeah, that's kind of why I think tracking it bi-weekly might be a little healthier because you'll actually see all the tournaments come in and know, what happened over the last 2 weeks where everything is included rather than just the one where 1 week when I designed it initially, I had like all the modern ones in 1 week and all the wilds in the other. Mm-hmm. And so like the payout difference was like 2 to 1 or I don't know the exact numbers, but that would definitely, if there's half the money available, that would certainly change the numbers of how many people are showing to participate.
Yeah. And it's like, again, we're able to roll all the data up as we want it. It's just more of, because we have like I said, we've added those scarred hand ones, which are the Chaos Legion only ones. We have not only beginner versions of those, but normal scarred hand bronze, normal scarred hand silver. And those ran this week currently. So we'll see the numbers also come up on those there as well.
Awesome. Okay, let's go. We got a Grapthar here. Let's go grab Grapthar and bring him on and have him just kind of talk to us a little bit about what he's doing. I don't think he's been on the show before, so this is a chance to get introduced and just what's your background, who are you, and we have a handful of people. We got Travel Girl, PChaz is going to fill in for marketing. So we got some. I got 3 more people to kind of cover for the next 20 minutes here. So Grapthar, why don't you and I take, 5 or 6 minutes and just introduce yourself and tell us what you do and how you started doing it and all that.
Great.
Oh, I'm sorry. PChaz is creative, not marketing. Thank you, Ron.
You can hear me all good?
I can hear you great.
Okay, cool. I'm Grapthar. I'm the lead for the account management team under the support banner. We also go by the Guardians. That's our name. There's 5 people, including myself. We deal with all account management related things, key issues of various kinds, recovering accounts, email issues, KYC, anything dealing with your account. That's us. I started on Splinterlands in the Steemit days. I was blogging on Steemit. And my friends, this was before gameplay, my friend sent me 2 alpha packs, and I got an Elemental Phoenix and a Spirit of the Forest, 1 in each.
Jeez.
And those were my first 2 packs, and I was hooked from then on. I've been playing ever since. And it's been very exciting to watch all this happen over the last few years. I had started working here. I was a volunteer in the Telegram, essentially, and then that became more official. And I wound up essentially running the Telegram for a while, and then that got brought under the support banner, and various restructuring happened, and now we're here with the account management team.
And then, so if how will player contact you directly? Will they engage you directly? Are you managing? Are you working with a customer? Like, how if a player has problems or whatever, how will you actually engage them?
They wouldn't speak to me directly at first necessarily, although sometimes I'm on the Telegram and the Discord where they could directly contact me. People can also DM me there. I am available. But they generally would use one of those 2 or our support portal, support.splinterlands.com, where there is a ticket system or the live chat. They'd make a ticket, and then that would get passed through our triage team and get marked for account management, and then other people who are under me, I guess, the regular level agents and senior agents, they do verification, other steps, gather information, whatever's needed, and then generally I'm doing the final steps, but sometimes that's interacting with the customers too, depending on the situation. So
what are like the most common things that you're seeing? What gets brought up to you the most?
The most common is probably people that want the request key option restored in game. I would say that's by far, for account management, that's our most common. They deleted the keys, they didn't save them, or they did save them and their computer crashed, or something happened, they were in an email that they lost access to. So we then have to verify ownership of the account, and then we can restore that option for them to request it. After that is probably, key recoveries are not as common, but we do those, if somebody's compromised or they lost the keys and it's an old account maybe, and we can't do the request key in game. There's sort of various situations, but yeah, key related things tend to be the most common for us.
What do you do? Like, if I come to you and I'm like, hey, my name is Yabat Matt and I need my keys back, how do you go through that? Because I'm obviously aggroed, but how do you?
Well, ideally, your account would have been registered with an email, which before a certain point in time may not be the case. After a certain point, all accounts do have an email. So you would file a ticket using that email. You'd have to have access to that email to be able to respond to that ticket after the initial filing of it. We do also have other verification steps, providing receipts for spellbooks. There's other things you can do with transfers to prove ownership of wallets, but we have a few things that we could potentially do. But we do not inherently just believe that you're Matt just because you say so.
I'm Cryptomancer too. I hear he's got a lot of land.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, what's the best part of the gig, or what, are there, what gives you satisfaction out of doing these things, and is there some flavor of how you provide these services that you think uniquely helps you kind of help the players that are struggling?
Yeah, I think a lot of the people on the sport team have this, not just me, but we're generally pretty experienced players with the game, which I think is great. When you deal with a lot of support out in the world, they sometimes don't even use the product. They're just using scripts to deal with. So, we know the game, we understand all these things. So I think that helps us. And our community is super dedicated and generally very awesome to deal with, which is great. We've all been together here for potentially up to years, some people, so I think my favorite part of this is just being on the sort of cutting edge of video games and blockchain. And I think we're doing things that really nobody else is doing, even in this space. And that's awesome. I'm super stoked to be a part of that.
Sweet. All right. Well, anything you want to leave the audience with? Any kind of like final thought or?
I think I'd be remiss if I didn't suck up to my boss a little and say buy Byzantine Kitty plushies. I'd like to get some points for that, some brownie points with Biz. So go ahead and do that, everyone.
Brutal, savage. That's like a little kowtow right there. I'm not sure how to take that. I am actually going to take the opposite position and say I think you guys should buy Yoden Zaku.
I think you should buy both. Go buy both.
You got 24 hours to go buy Yoden. And if you get suckered into it, I'll forgive you for buying Byzantine Kitty. Just too adorable. Okay, let's go bring on PChaz so that we can go talk a little bit about just the creative piece of all this and what we're developing for Splinterlands and any kind of eye candy that you want to share. PChaz, are you there? Can you say hello?
Hi, good morning. I mean, good evening too.
Yeah, people are all over the world and they might hear us tomorrow. So hello to the future. What's going on in creative? What's the highest priority? What are you guys working on?
We're currently working on Rift Watchers and what you call this? Splinterfest. I think that's what we're pushing right now. All hands on deck on that one.
And what specifically for Splinterfest?
Oh, I'm assisting Maddie. Maddie's usually the one who's doing all the artwork of it, and we just chip in and assist him to get the stuff done. I like the banners and some artworks that I don't know if it's okay to share yet, since I need to ask Nate for permission or something like that.
I mean, you can drop some eye candy. I'm gonna go ahead and give that permission. So if there's something that you want to share for Splinterfest, why don't you drop something in the chat just so people can see some of like the initial logos or some of what we're thinking for it.
Okay. Let me try to grab those. Since I haven't touched on those yet, I'm still gonna get into those this week. Hold on. Where is that? Maybe we can talk about something else.
Sure.
While I'm searching for it.
Yeah, you can go poke some other stuff out here. So what's you mentioned Rift Watchers. What is Rift Watchers, and what are we building there?
Oh, mostly we're doing characters right now. We're doing the character sketches. We're trying to have everything, the initial stuff first. So from there we can go straight forward with line art and colors. It's the new thing after Chaos Legion. For those who don't know, pretty exciting. We got a lot of new characters coming out.
Maybe Virov can help again. Are there any character images that we can spill or kind of give some alpha for what they might look like for Rift Watchers? No stats. Maybe there's no stats yet, but just kind of like the art direction that Rift Watchers is going in.
Currently, I'm doing the latest one I've done is like the Countess. It's also half vampire, like that.
Oh yeah, that was the one that we all voted on.
Yeah, I was pretty excited for that one. I actually assisted on that one too.
Is there a new one that you can show us that we haven't seen before? Looks like
Just a
Vera
sketch.
might be.
Yeah, I think Vera would be better to post the new stuff. I don't wanna, make a mistake in sharing something that's not supposed to be shared.
Oh well, I'm giving you free reign here.
Oh,
Yeah, I like these chests. These chests have they look alive. They're not just they're not, the first one kind of looks like a creepy owl, and the second one is sort of like some Eye of the Beholder kind of eyeball thing, and the third kind of has the wolf look. I dig it. I think those are pretty bad or badass is really what I mean.
let me check.
Did you just call them bad? Did you just
Well,
call them really bad?
I meant bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good.
Good. All right. Oh, cool.
Yeah, if you can reference my, I believe that's a Run DMC lyric.
It is.
So some of the youngins might not know it, but back in the day when I was like 9, really into Run DMC. Not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. Booka. Yeah. That's a small aside, and I'm sorry to have embarrassed myself like that. Okay, so yeah, I think they look pretty awesome. Is what I'm really going after.
Hey,
Yeah,
Vera, do you think you could share the one that Matty did, or like the one with that big pig?
Oh, these are some of the those are business cards.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that top one is Homestead.
Mm.
And these are like literally the business cards that we'll hand out when we're at conferences and whatnot. And I'll tell you, people take like people take a second look. I mean, they have like they stare at this thing of like, what is this? And then they like turn it around a couple times and they're like, it has contact info. And then like it hits them like a minute later, like, oh, holy crap, this is a business card. Like we gotta be the coolest people. Maybe somebody can put in the American Psycho where he's like talking about the business cards of like, look at the font on that. Like
Yeah.
that's the kind of like reaction people eventually get when they realize what these things are. They're like coping. Yeah, that one. Thank you, Luthien. He's like dropping the card. It's so beautiful. Yes, the pearl white with the something. Yeah, it's amazing. That's kind of the reaction when people, but like if somebody hands us their business card and we're like, oh, thank you very much, and then we hand them our business card and they're like, oh God. Like they just start questioning like the last 10 years of their corporate life. Why have I given my soul to this company that like can't even make something awesome for a business card? So anyways, that's my aside, but that's definitely good times. But I still, PChaz, I definitely want to see one more character that's coming out of the Rift Watcher set. Do you have anything that you can kind of drop some alpha on? We got, well, that's Cryptomancer. There's one. So this is like a vampire mermaid.
Yeah, she's what you call this? Not entirely mermaid. I think it's the one that's also like
Naga?
a siren. No. What do you call this? Let me see. Who's here? Yes, I think it's a siren. Yeah, I think it's a siren.
I dig it, man. She looks mean. She
Yeah,
looks like. Go on.
Go ahead.
She just looks like somebody that could kill you easily with magic and that look.
Precisely, that's what they the narrative described. They wanted that kind of stare. So like, okay, what I'm gonna do. So I looked up some vampire references and it's like, all right, I think this is good.
Yeah, it's striking me as like a gothic mermaid. Like, yeah, I don't really like that. Those are not two words that I've ever associated with each other. And it's like we just created a whole new genre of like mermaid vampires. Like, I don't know.
Dark and bright combined.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I dig it. And who's the little goblin that Vera just showed?
Oh, he's a Technomancer.
Nice.
Techno is just. It's got a long name.
Techno Wizardist.
Yeah, Technologist.
Bragger's wondering about PFPs. You know, it might be a thing. It might be sooner than you might have thought. But yeah, we're actually talking about PFPs. You know, like some of that is just like I don't know, not fun to me because all they do is sort of like be collectibles. But I kind of think that you know, tying this into the Ethereum blockchain and maybe even Binance Smart Chain, you know, getting more people from other ecosystems through project types that they like could be a nice way to sort of raise awareness for the project and get more folks in here. So I don't know. That's something that might happen. And a PFP is a profile picture. So Bored Apes are an example of a PFP project. There's a whole bunch of them. You know, now there's like mutant dogs and doogles and dingies and whatever else. Okay. PChaz, anything else you want to kind of share with us or talk about from the creative department? Anything else that is high on your mind?
Nah, at the moment, that's what we're really working on. I'm also working on the business cards. Yeah, I think that was mentioned already.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, I think, and I'd like to take this opportunity to say thanks for giving me this opportunity. You know, being in Splinterlands family is like, wow. It's probably the best thing that ever happened to me in this crypto journey of mine.
Well, that's great to hear. You know, I'm glad you're thinking it. I think we have a pretty fun company with very talented people and a devoted crowd and folks that are trying to make this game as awesome and successful as possible. And and it's a pleasure to work with folks like that. And you know, like just the amount of time that like you know bad employees like just waste is horrific. And that has like zero mind share for me. And I'm just like grateful for the amount of really talented people that put their heart and souls into these projects and help us all go to the same moon. And I'm grateful.
Sure, for sure.
All right. So let's go talking to Travel Girl. We got a couple minutes here, and then it looks like we got one more sort of introduction to make. So anyways, PChaz, thank you. Glad you're here. And Travel Girl, why don't you do a quick intro with us? Who are you? How did you find this place and what's going on? You're muted in Discord or not talking in Discord. Travel Girl, are you there? We might need to try her later. Okay. And I'm worried about how I'm going to pronounce this. I think it's Chichi, but Chichi, are you there? Do you want to try to unmute and speak with us a bit?
Hello, Aggie. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Welcome.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Cisisaja, aka the King Queen. I have been playing Splinterlands since the second season of in October 2018. Yeah, I was dragging by Headchains, BU, Dave McCoy in Team Possible, and then now I'm working as Trevor Girl and Grapthar subordinate as healers and guardians in support banner. Healer is a life agent. My main job is to answer questions from the users in Discord, Telegram, and also in Zendesk. And also I do some triaging tickets and verification, and then send it to Grapthar or other lead to solve it.
What are some of the most common questions that you get?
the most common question is what do I do with my keys? I lost my keys. How to get my keys? And then the other question is like, why do I have my chest from daily rewards is less than the other days?
Yeah, there you go.
Something like that.
This makes total sense to me. I lost my keys, and where are my rewards? That's like,
Yeah,
if that's not crypto in a nutshell, I don't know what it is. That just
yeah.
brought me great joy.
And there is an interesting thing in when you become a support staff. When you first join the Telegram, there is a fake Aggie will DM you and ask, "Are you available? Do you have 3 BNB that I can borrow for a couple of hours?" So if you never had that DM, you are not a support staff. And then if you are on Discord, if there is no one trying to clone or impersonating you, you are not a support staff.
Yeah, yeah, I believe it. These are like crypto and Discord problems. I dig it.
Yeah. And
So
we have every day the most common people complain on Discord and Telegram after we use Transact is Terra block. I mean, the Terra block. So they come to us, why are you using Terra block? So almost every day, they will come. So sometimes when we have an update, or sometimes when we change, something like server problems, they will come swarming to Discord and Telegram. Sometimes they just inform us to check, but sometimes they just coming to curse or something like that. And yeah, we have fun.
sweet. How did you find Splinterlands in the first place?
How do I find Splinterland on the first place? Blame it
Yeah.
on head chains, Dave McCoy. They drag me to Splinterland and make me addict to Splinterland. They give me 30 accounts a day to play every day, including BU, Simply Mike, or Aka Monster Mother, Royal Eagle, and the last one I need to appreciate is Byzantinis. He is the one who dragged me to Splinterland team.
Nice. And what's your favorite part of all this? Like, what makes you like sound excited? You sound like happy to be here, and you got some real enthusiasm. What's the part that is meaningful to you or exciting to you? What's driving that the passion that's pretty easy to hear in your voice?
First, the game itself. Once I tried and cried for I when I first play Splinterland, I fall in love to Tyrus Palladium because he is so handsome. And then I played Tyrus Palladium for a battle, and I against I don't remember, something like Marabara. He killed my Tyrus and I cried. And
Oh,
then I cried, and then I DM Dave McCoy and asked, what happened to my Tyrus? Can I still play him after this, because he is dead? And Divine Healer not helping him. Oh, how about that? And then Dave McCoy, as my coach, he then try explain everything and let me play. And then after one day, they send me another accounts to play, and then another accounts to play. So I play almost every day for 18 hours, even in my sleep. And then when I joined the team of the Splinterland team as a support staff, I found that half of my colleague on in support staff is team possible members, and then we help each other. when I have question from the user, they help me, and then I can. But the most interesting thing about this game is that the community. I mm, I never found a game where I can talk to you as the CEO, when I can talk to Matt and get help from him, and I never uh, have a team like this before when I was working in the real life. So this is my dream team. As so, there's nothing I can do when everything is so excited, especially when Hardpoint talking. It makes me more more excited to play and to work for the team and do whatever I can to help the team. And then when okay, when the SPS if airdrop is start to launch, uh, I I create an Indonesian community Splinterland, and then I learned that okay, so when we have so many users and we have a language barrier, uh, when everyone will ask for help, how to do this, how to do that, how to handle this, how to handle that, so I have to create an Indonesian community where I can prevent them to come to the tech support so then I can solve the problem on the community. So that's make me excited because the players, the community, the team, and the game itself is very interesting and very excited. And finally, I fulfill my ultimate dream by joining the Splinterland and the team of Splinterland. You know, I'm a Muslim. I have 5 obligations, and the last obligation is to do the pilgrimage to Mecca, and I have been waiting for 40 years of my life to go to register to go for pilgrimage. And then this year, after working as a Splinterland team member for about 4 months, I can register and waiting for my time to go to Mecca. So thanks to Splinterland and thanks to everyone.
Your story's giving me goosebumps. I mean, this is exactly why we started this business. You know, it's like how many people can we help? How many lives can we change? How can we make the world a better place? And how can crypto and in particular gaming do it? Um, that was killer. I still have goosebumps. I'm stoked. Thank you for being part of this team. You're awesome. Thank you for bringing that enthusiasm to work. I think you're embodying so many different parts of the Splinterlands culture that we're working hard to produce, and you're killing it. I'm so
Thank you
proud
for
of you.
having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, Aki. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thanks so much, Chichi. You're great. Okay, let's go. I have one more person I want to talk to. That's going to be Travel Girl. Let's go check her mic, see if she's able to speak this time, and then and otherwise, let's move on. Travel Girl, you there? Doo-doo. I think we're missing Travel Girl again. All right, well, Travel Girl, we'll get you on some other time. Maybe we got to do the next late night show, but
So-
we'll get you here.
Let's try
Oh.
one more thing. Travel Girl, just leave and come back. Let's try that. That might work. She's already went through all the steps. I've been with her in DM. And yeah, we'll try one more thing and then move on.
Okay. Travel Girl, you there? I know you're here. I just don't. Hey, I heard something.
Hello.
Hey, there we go. Travel Girl, welcome on air.
Hello. I'm so sorry about that before.
It's a battle to get you on here. Well, I'm stoked you're here. You want to go introduce yourself and tell us what you do and how you're interacting with Splinterlands and its people?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Travel Girl. I'm support lead for the live agent team under the support team umbrella. I started playing the game Splinterlands since 2018, and I've been in various roles within the company since then, including creation. I used to stream for the game, and I used to hold manual tournaments. I'm not sure if many of you still remember all those the tough times. And that was a nice experience. But I'm glad that we've got the automated system now. So currently in my role, I look after a team of support members who many of you may have spoken to, either on Discord, Telegram, or even through our Zendesk live chats. We have an awesome team with a variety of skills, helping our players around the clock. Working here for Splinterlands have been such an amazing experience, and being part of this growing company. And for a game I've invested the most in terms of brain power, manpower, and money is such a great opportunity. So yeah, I'm just really happy to be here.
So how did you find us in the first place? I think you were a Steam native at the time, but
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, so it all started when we were still back on Steam. So the game started even when there was no stats on the cards, and it all started from there really. And then putting a little bit of money here and there. I'm not a huge pack buyer in the beginning. I don't know. I just my luck. It wasn't my thing. But yeah, eventually started getting pretty addictive, and how the game started evolving and changing, and with all the great additions, every so often, I got hooked on. And then also being able to be part of the team, it's just amazing. Just like a dream come true.
Why is that? We've heard that a couple times. Like, what is it that we're doing that makes you feel good as a team member? And what part of this is rewarding or good or awesome or makes you feel good?
Well, in the beginning, we have a very tight community. So back in the days when we're on the other chain, we started off with just a handful of players. So a lot of the original players, still see them in the map chat, or throughout the community, is everyone believed in a project, a card game. Back in the days, there wasn't anything on a blockchain like on Steam, and having a card game, and also with yourself and Matt, both witnesses back then, was a very assuring project for everyone. So at that time, you listened. Both of you actually was on deck, was out there talking to a lot of the community members, getting feedback, getting everyone's ideas, and then you guys worked with everyone. So that was why it was great to be part of that. And I think a lot of the original players actually felt like that as well, because the founders actually listened and actually put a thought process through, and then brought out these good products for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Matt, I think, has done customer support very well. I've almost come to think of devs in the category of those who can customer support and those who can't. And, really having a massive appreciation for those that not only can build something, but then support the users that are using it afterwards. I've seen how, people build things and then leave it, or build things and then don't care what the users think. They just built it the way they wanted. And I think Matt's attitude of how do we integrate feedback and ensure a good experience has really been one of the things that I think separates him as a developer, out of a lot of things that help separate him as a developer. But that's one that I keep noticing in my experience with him, and it's great. And then obviously, my ability to sort of interact with every single member of the community has died down as we grew to 150 people. But this is why we really value folks like WeirdBeard and his ability to sort of get out to the community and communicate with everybody and get that feedback. Because even if I can't do it directly, I really want people that can focus on that and get that in and do that with our our employees, with the communities, our like corporate investors, and just really take in, what do you guys want this to be? Like when it started, it was like Matt and I's baby, but this thing is so far beyond that. This thing is really taking a life of its own. And now the question is like, what are the absolute best ideas that we can crowdsource, and then how do we implement them and make this not just Matt or Aggie's baby, but how do we own this collectively as a community? And I'm pretty excited about the results so far and all the places that we're going.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So, I don't know if somebody saw, if somebody experienced the work that you've done for the company, like how would they know it? How would they experience that?
By how the whole community as well. So everyone can actually see the changes. So if we look at the chat at the moment, we can see there's an original screenshot, and then people can actually see how everything evolved from, as Cryptomancer mentioned, how the UI looks very dated. Back then it wasn't dated, but now it's, the result is, with what we have now. So yeah, I think the players really appreciate what we've done so far.
Sweet. Okay. Anything that you'd like to leave us with, or any kind of final thought that you want to share until the next time we bring you back on?
No. Thanks everyone for with all the different changes and all the updates that we've had. Our support team is trying our hardest to give the best support to everyone. If you have any questions, always reach out to one of us, and we'll try to assist as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, thank you for helping lead this team. Thank you for helping to make sure support is on point. I think it's something that we get a lot of praise for, and it's no longer Matt and I doing it. It's a whole army of people, and we're grateful to them because it helps, bring our community, retain our community. And, look at, we're at like 9 PM on a Monday evening, and we're still like filling up with people, and folks are still coming in to go listen and talk to us and play our game. And I think a lot of that is a testament to the support that we offer to go make sure that people want to be here, and, when they have questions, that they get answered. So thanks for doing that.
Sorry, and one more thing, a big shout out to all the support team, because they are working, over and a bit above and beyond at most, times. And it's great to be working with everyone. Thank you so much.
Sweet. Okay. I think, hey, Ron, what do you want to do? Do you want to do the shout outs now, or do you want to move into the first set of questions?
Let's go ahead and get the Splinterlands TV over, don't you think?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about Splinterlands TV. Do you want to give like a quick intro for the folks that don't know what this thing is?
Absolutely. So, here at Splinterlands, we're kind of taking risks. We're doing a little bit of different stuff, and one of the things that we decided to do was an initiative to have 24 hours of streaming of Splinterlands content being streamed over there on our Twitch channel. So that's exactly what we did. And guess what, guys? We're up to 53 streamers right now. And those 53 streamers are accounting for about almost 70% of the week in total hours, which is just awesome. It's just absolutely amazing. We're up to 1,300 followers. We got 1.3 thousand followers. It's been going up about 100 per week ever since we hit 1,000. And it just keeps going. I believe the last time I announced the followers was 1,100 a couple of weeks ago, and now,
if even, I mean, the last time I remember was 1,000. So we've grown 30%. And I'll tell you, like, Ron's talking about growing 100 users per week. It's like this beginning part is the hardest part of doing that. So congrats on the grind and pushing through.
Absolutely. And we've got, I think we have 34, if my memory serves correct, 34 subscribers, which subscribers, they give a little bit of money to the channel. Now, Splinterlands, the company, does not keep any of that money. We give all of that money to our streamers. So if you guys want to support the streamers out there on the awesome channel. Go subscribe, go donate bits. It all goes directly to them. But yeah, we keep growing. We keep growing in streamers. We keep growing in hours streamed. We keep growing in followers. And you know what? It's the sky's the limit right now. Honestly, I'm so proud of these guys. They're doing an awesome job. I'm so thrilled at the audience that we get. You guys, honestly, I'm just amazed at the dedication of some of you guys in the community. We have a couple more shout outs this week, and what the shout outs means is they watched so much Splinterlands TV, they accrued 50,000 channel points in order to get a town hall shout out. So, Olordo, for the second week in a row, gets a shout out.
That's awesome.
And I am not quite sure how to pronounce this. It is ASDF GHJ Kira. I think it's just Kira though. But I'm pretty sure they made that name just to screw with people. But anyway, Kira and Lordo, you guys rock. Thank you so much for being awesome audience for us. And we appreciate you so much.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for being here, Lordo. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for, giving us an audience and letting us bend your ear a little bit. Do you have a Splinterlands TV clip of the week that you want to share?
Absolutely. I was just about to. So, guys, this one right here, this one's a little bit different than when we normally post. And I think it was a bit of an upset on the whole thing. There was some tough competition this week, and honestly, if you guys want to know how we pick the clip of the week, we have a guide that is linked in our official announcements over there in the Splinterlands TV Discord that tells you exactly how to do it, what to do with it, what we look for, how we judge it, and everything. So if there's something that's close call, we look at these fine details, like what time, like, are you starting in the middle of a sentence? Are you ending in the middle of a sentence? What kind of emotion do these, are they expressing? All that kind of stuff. It's all detailed there. So guys, if you want a really good chance of winning the clip of the week, I honestly, please just go check out that post. But without further ado, Rogue Patton had an interesting match, and this is the aftermath.
If I got beat by a rented gold, I'm going to be furious. I got beat by a rented gold Dr. Blight. This man better be a fiend. Let's go. Collection power. Come on, baby. Own it. Own it. Let's go. Oh, he doesn't own it. You are renting it. You beat me with a rented gold, you focus pointing, hoarding. Ah, goodness gracious. Or is it delegated to you? Nope, rented. Is this the one? It's staring at me. How much did you pay for this? How much did you pay for that win? You monster. Bedtime story, bro. How much did you pay for this bedtime story? Well done, brother.
Oh, and there you go,
That's
guys.
pretty funny.
That was the clip of the week. And honestly, you guys can win too. He won 500. The streamer won 500 SPS, and Bootops, who submitted it, won 500 SPS. Guys, we're wanting the best clips out there. So go out there, take a clip of the stream, submit it in our Discord, and you could be the winner next week.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I hesitate to go here. My Twitter feed is filled with a lot of political things, and there have been a far number of people shouting. And with that, I've looked at some of those, and one of the comments was, "I feel that way every time that the Celtics lose." And so that thought has been in my head of like, the people that are screaming, typically in politics, at like the top of their lungs, no, and just getting angry. It's like, yeah, I feel that way every time Byzantinus wins. It's like that's been rattling around in my brain of just Just thinking like little political videos from TikTok are my love of Splinterlands is now getting invaded by those. So I appreciate that. And I like this is blockchain to like a T, you know, the guy going in and being like, let me find out everything about you. Like, tell me every transaction you've ever made. I'm gonna track them all down. That's hilarious. Anything else you need to bring up for Splinterlands TV?
No, not really. Except for guys, go follow, go subscribe, go support your streamers. We're out there spreading the word. This isn't just about Splinterlands TV either. This is about all of Twitch streaming. We're just kind of going to be the baseline to give the heartbeat out for all of us, and try to empower all streaming on Twitch. Take it over and make sure people know about the game Splinterlands.
Awesome. Yeah, great job, Ron. Thanks so much. All right. Bulldog, maybe you can hook us up with the next set of questions here. It looks like he's copy pasting. These folks are able to read my mind. It's amazing. All right, we have one page of questions. So here, this is asking us about new games, and will the new Splinterlands game utilize the same currencies? It will utilize those same currencies, but there's also very likely to be some of its own. So you'll be able to pay with DEC, pay with SPS. I don't know how we're going to handle vouchers yet. That's still kind of up in the air. But yeah, we plan on for the other games that we introduce, to whatever extent possible, incorporating DEC, SPS, and vouchers. It was said that the Splinterlands arcade evolved into something bigger and is now this new game by a new studio. Does that mean that the original arcade idea with multiple casual games is dead, or is the new game in addition to that? Yeah, so we're working with one of our developer teams that's external to Splinterlands to go develop a game. And I don't want to share too much about it. I don't know what stage it's at. You know, I greenlit the thing and I'm excited about it, but that's not one that I'm able to like track every day. But that game and that studio are really about, you know, figuring out alternative game modes for Splinterlands. And, you know, that's kind of like step one for, that's going to be step one for like the arcade and getting alternate gameplay in here. Okay, how will you prevent a new game utilizing Splinterlands assets from being a time sink that is required if people want to maximize their earnings? Are there concerns this will drive away more existing Splinterlands customers who don't like the new game genre? Then it will bring in new players. You know, we'll do things to incentivize you guys, but you're not going to be required. And you know, I see Bertu's question of what genre would this be. We have 3 genres that we'll be rolling out. I talked about this a little bit at NFT NYC. But there's going to be 3 types of ecosystems. One ecosystem is going to be music and entertainment. So, you know, we talked about how we put out a partnership announcement with Warner Music Group. We're still actively building and actively, you know, designing what that will be. There's another ecosystem where we can do kind of like some social casino style games. So we have a whole project lined up for how we can handle that and what that might look like. And the third type is a whole sports thing. So, you know, those are 3 genres that we're going to be introducing or kind of like building around. And really, you know, we're taking so much out of the Splinterlands code base that we've figured out and trying to make something akin to like a game in a box where we're able to go take other content and put it into the system and roll out other games. And while some of these things will be separate, you know, obviously we have so much to be thankful for to this existing community, the Splinterlands community, and we'll be making sure that the people that bought these cards and participated in other pieces of this, you know, we know that you were here. We know that you helped us, you know, get to a spot where we could support more than one game. And, there'll be some incentives to help keep you all part of this ecosystem and economy, from potential discounts to potential airdrops to potential other things. There's ways that we can sort of show our thanks and appreciation. Reward economy. How many cards in DEC are we giving out via chess in the new system versus the old? Are there concerns about inflation devaluing all of these assets? So I don't have the exact numbers on these, but for some of the things like DEC, not in the chess, but just sort of in the rank rewards, that stayed constant. In terms of DEC, I think we are giving out more, but I gotta talk to the folks to try to get some numbers out. But I don't have numbers in front of me, so I can't quite answer this. But parts of this have been deflationary, and parts of it have been inflationary, and parts of it are still kind of static. So we're looking at that whole economy, and I'll try to get you better numbers probably when somebody from the rank rewards team is around. What else will vouchers be able to be used for? Prices plummeted, would double the production rate, and very little to use them on. Well, I think everything that we put out that is, within the Splinterlands ecosystem that's at all sort of unique or special is going to involve vouchers. The current price, I think, is more reflective of like the year-long bear market that we've been in than anything else. But we'll find out if this market reverses and vouchers, go back up along with the market, then, maybe it's not a failure of voucher design, but just sort of general market conditions. Miscellaneous, is there any update on Rift Watchers? When is it expected to come out? How many vouchers will be needed? Will players get to design more cards? I haven't heard about the rollout. Well, I like doing the players get to design cards, and the sort of like, the top 5 pack buyers get to make legendaries and airdrops. The exact date, it's in the roadmap, which I'm not staring at right this second, but somebody can go find the roadmap image. I can tell you what quarter. I think it's supposed to come out after the airdrop ends, but I don't know how soon thereafter. I do think that's the most recent roadmap. And Rift Watchers we have in Q3. So July, August, September, we're about to enter Q3. So hopefully in the next couple months. Yeah, Brabro is saying more information on Rift Watchers will probably be released soon. So that stuff is coming. We're working on it, and it's not long until we get there. Rating inflation seems to be a problem. Crappy accounts can get into relatively high leagues simply because there are so many crappy accounts. Has the team considered any ideas to adjust this? Maybe move to a zero-sum rating system, or add in card level earnings penalties for players playing with cards well below their league? That's a good question for the rank rewards team, and I'm not facing that, and I don't have numbers in front of me. So it's a good question. I'm going to punt up until we can grab it. So Bulldog, the next time that we do it, please go re-include some of the sort of like rank rewards questions so that we can get one of the devs to look up numbers. What will power requirements be for the modern format? Will wild only or gladiator cards count for power requirement in modern? Cryptomancer, I think you're back. Do you want to talk about how CP works in the wild and modern formats?
So for collection power, when the modern format is introduced, the thresholds for league advancement for modern will require half the collection power that they do now. And the current collection power requirements are going to stay the same for the wild format. And there's only one collection power score for your account. That's not being split into a modern version and a wild version. So all the cards from both formats will continue to count towards those collection power thresholds. For tournaments, however, the entry requirements will depend on the modern or the wild cards. So if you're entering a modern tournament, then only modern cards are going to count for the collection power requirements. And the gladiator cards, they can count towards your collection power now, and that's going to continue. So they will also count towards modern collection power requirements.
Awesome. All right, here are 3 suggestions, and I just keep pointing people back to feedback.splinterlands.com. Could we change the suggested sale price in the market to be compared to the lowest of the same level card as yours, not just the lowest overall price per BCX? This leads people to listing cards well below their true value. So yeah, that belongs there at feedback.splinterlands.com. Could we get rewards points added? Rewards points bonus added for owning skins of a car used in battle. Yeah, so this has been like a million fights between Nate and I of like, how do we get skins in this and give them some utility? So, you know, we have let's wait until Nate's back and we can go talk about what that thing might look like or how skins might come involved. And then lastly, can you have the daily focus be auto-claimed with the ability to see what our previous rewards were, similar to how we see last season's rewards? Again, that's like another thing for the rank rewards team who's just not on this call. So when we get to the next kind of cycle with the devs, Bulldog can keep these questions, move them into the next week, kind of pile them all into the rank rewards section. And we'll see if we can't get somebody from Rank Rewards. Speaking of next week, Sir Honksalock, do you want to share the sad news?
Oh, okay. So I get to be the bearer of bad news.
Yeah, you get to be the bearer of bad news.
Yeah, we're not doing a town hall next week. It is 4th of July for our U.S. Residents, and which kind of affects the entire dais of the people here on the show. So yeah, no town hall July 4th. We'll be back July 11th, and I do believe that one will be with Matt. Let me check.
Oh, good.
Yep, yeah. So Matt will be back on the 11th. That's when we'll come back, and it'll be a good show. A lot of these questions will be answered then.
Yeah, well, he's not necessarily the direct guy doing all the rank reward stuff either. So
no, he's got his ear to the ground though.
Yeah, maybe we can grab somebody that's specific from that team.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Why don't we open this up for questions overall? And now we can do whatever you guys want. What's on your brain? What do you want to know? What do you want to ask? And if there's not like a slew of questions coming in, which is fine, we'll just end early. It looks like there's a couple that are about to be here. One thing I'll add is that we're down to 29 days left of airdrop. 29 days. This thing has been a year. It's hard to imagine that almost a full year has been going along. But man, that's exciting stuff. I'm excited that it's that small. And that this airdrop is about to end. I'm excited that we did it, and I'm excited that it's almost over. That's pretty exciting. It's just like, I don't know. It's like a Bitcoin halving for our community, and I'm excited. All right, DJ Bagman is asking, why doesn't the mobile app show Gladius cards? Yeah, we recently hired a full a studio to go work on our mobile app, so I think it just takes time to get them ready. And the mobile app doesn't cover brawls yet, does it?
I believe the mobile team is working on updating it. It might not cover brawls right out the gate as soon as they launch, so it might only support wild battles for a bit. But we want to get it updated as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's some around the Gladius cards and why you can't see them there. Bragger's asking, there have been questions I've seen about the voucher shop. When is that coming? Well, the voucher shop is already here. It's like this special page. It's just we need to get more things that are available for vouchers. So one of the previous deals that we did kind of fell through. We decided that we didn't like the celebrity that we were working with, so we abandoned that one, and now we're moving on to others. And we're trying to gauge the sort of like risk and reward, but I think there's going to be some other sports people that will be coming along with us, and we're working on that right now. Virus is asking, when Modern Wild comes out, will there still be Splinterlands created chaos only tournaments, or will those change to Modern? If chaos tournaments stay, will they include chaos only rewards cards? WeirdBeard, how's that work?
So from my understanding, you're going to be able to play reward cards in both Modern and Wild, but they're just divvied up based off of where they fall.
But are there going to be any chaos only, or are they all going to Modern and Wild?
There you would still be able to play the Chaos Legion ones in the Chaos Legion only tournaments that we have.
Okay, so we are going to keep doing some Chaos Legion only tournaments.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, there you go. Jimmy, we are quickly approaching the end of the airdrop. Do you know when the new LP rewards incentives will be announced? I think Matt's plan is to work on that after the airdrop ends, and we're still figuring that out internally. We were talking about that a little bit earlier, and to me, a big piece is I want to make sure that to get whatever rewards that you hope to get with Splinter Shards, I hope that it requires staking to actually get there. Yeah, Bulldog is confirming there's no brawls or tournaments on the mobile app. That is something that we want to get on there. Melkor is asking for daily focus. Can we have a specific 24-hour period and have our rewards automatically claimed? This would allow us to not lose time and miss out on daily focus. So daily focus is getting a little bit of an overhaul, and there's new abilities and new ways that it'll work. So let's get some of like the stage. That whole focus thing was really like stage 0. Let's get it out to stage 1, and then afterwards kind of check back. Bebo Mega is asking, are there plans to fix a problem with some promo cards not giving a reward share bonus just because they belong to a certain card set? For example, Dr. Blight, part of Chaos Legion set, but there are others as well. Second question is about the mini sets for Modern and Wild being based on core sets only. Does it mean that once the Modern and Wild start, there will only be one mini set dice until Rift Watchers? Are there plans to fix the problem with some promo cards not giving a reward share bonus? I didn't know that was a problem. That sounds like something to send over to the bug fixing team.
I'm not totally sure how it works right now, but I think only the alpha and the beta promo cards give bonuses. I'm not completely sure. That's something we'd have to look at. I don't think there are any actual plans. Byzantinus is talking about Chain Golem and Dr. Blight. We are moving those cards into the promo edition as part of the Modern and Wild release, but they're not going to give any extra DEC bonus or anything.
Okay. Well, that as long as people are having that conversation, sounds like that might be a feature rather than a bug. But something to make sure that we're clear on as a company what we're doing and why we're doing it. Second question is about the mini sets for Modern and Wild being based on core sets only. Does it mean that once the Modern and Wild start, there will only be one mini set dice until Rift Watchers? I believe that to be correct, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Dice is the mini set associated with Untamed, and Rift Watchers is going to be the mini set associated with Chaos Legion.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be that long. Once the Modern vs. Wild is out, I think it's shortly thereafter that we'll be able to get to like rolling Rift Watchers out. I don't want to put a specific date in there, but I know that Matt's actively working on it. Is the team aware that a few massive bot farms are still raking in an extremely high percent of the overall rewards in bronze and silver? There's not a specific number that I saw, but this is good to know. Chest tier 0. I'm not sure I know how to read that chart rapidly, but what did I miss? Question: what are your thoughts about Archmage bot service? I know the team is bot neutral. Just want to know if you would recommend discourage players from this. I don't think I've heard about the Archmage bot service yet. So I don't have a specific feeling about them one way or the other. That hasn't made it up there. Sound is saying archmage.app. I don't even know what it does. Is that like a market bot or is that a fighting bot? I mean, generally speaking, we allow bots to play and we try to make sure that they don't get like absurd rewards. So if they are still getting absurd rewards, the question is, why is that? Is it just that the players are letting them? Is it, we still need to tweak rank rewards? Are they all renting cards and buying cards? Are they participating in the market like we might hope so? Any more potential ideas on long-term SPS utility y'all are willing to share? Yeah, I mean, I as we introduce additional reward pools, I think that they all have to be met with additional staking requirements, a la like tournaments. So if you want to be able to earn them, you need to stake them, and I think that's how we go. That's how we move forward. And Bulldog is giving Archmage bot a little bit of love. They are pretty ethical in terms of bot practices. So like, as long as you're not like trying to game the system, but are instead renting cards and battling with them, and you're not doing like, purposely losing battles to your own teammates or something, then I don't really have an opinion. I don't like give them free promo cards to add more bots to the game. That's not really the incentive, but this always comes back to, we want this game to be as decentralized as possible. And in order for us to be decentralized, there can't be a central authority saying this account can play and that account can't. And we've seen other games in blockchain go and ban accounts. And my thought is like, well, are you really a blockchain game then? If your account has the authority to do that, what just doesn't feel right to me. All right. Nachos is asking, what, if anything, has been planned for Splinterfest activities? Also been asking for about a month now about prices for Splinterfest tickets. Deals for group room booking keeps getting pushed back next week. It's hard to plan travel budgets if you don't know all the prices options available. I'll poke Liam about it. He couldn't be on this call, and we won't have it for 4th of July, but I guess on the 11th of July, I'll try to make sure stuff is out, or the team is making all of the sort of like art and stuff to talk about Splinterfest. So there we go. Ape of Wall Street is asking, do you think it's wise to flood the market with Riftwatcher when Chaos Legion is currently over flooding the market and still 50% of the supply remaining roughly? So, we get that question a bunch, but, I shared that graph that shows that Chaos Legion, despite 10xing the supply and 2xing the price and lowering the discount and having the amount of CP, is still like 180 days ahead of where how long it took us for Untamed. This is just part of this cycle, and we also happen to be down at the bottom of a bear market. Like that. Those are conditions, and they're actually the same conditions that existed as part of Untamed. So this is sort of like market cycles that we're in, and so I don't worry about it. The piece about Chaos Legion, of Rift Watchers, that's exciting is that it should act like a sponge for SPS, and that then goes into the DAO, and I have a personal journey of how I think this will work. I mean, I don't want this to be financial advice, but my brain says something like, people are going to, shove a bunch of money via SPS into Rift Watchers, and it's going to sit in the DAO and essentially kind of like lower the circulating supply of SPS. And as that happens, especially in conjunction with the amount of SPS coming as part of the airdrop, there's going to be a whole lot less SPS around. And if that's the case, price might reflect that. And if that's the case, then the value of doing things like buying nodes, which would further accelerate just how little SPS there is, and sort of look at the rewards for battling and earning SPS, there's like a lot of pieces that could simultaneously be advantageous for this community. And it might be hard to experience all of that down at $20,000 Bitcoin, but if and when the market recovers, hopefully we'll see that SPS has nice gains as the rest of the market recovers. So it's kind of a weird long answer, but ultimately I think I don't think it's a bad plan. I think there's a lot of good to the plan because the money goes to the DAO and the DAO isn't currently distributing SPS. It's basically a giant sink. And I think that's good for everybody in this community. But who knows? I can't, that's not financial advice. That's just my personal journey of how I think that stuff will go. Stealth Trio is asking, I was told to ask you this from Hardpoint last time. Can we get an option to rent SPS delegation to play bigger tournaments and give more utility to SPS? Hells yeah. I've been arguing for SPS delegation forever. So, it hasn't been a high priority. Maybe that's something that Mancer can spit out when we're done with
when we're done with
Modern and Wild.
Oh.
What's that?
I said when
we're done with this town hall. Yeah. Mancer, if you got a good 15 minutes, let's get SPS delegation working. I'm all for that.
Sure. I'll just throw it in there. Why not? It won't take long.
Yeah. Don't worry about a user interface for it. Players will just use command line interfaces through witness nodes in order to have it function. I'm sure there'll be no problem.
Everyone can do that, right? Yeah, no biggie.
Yeah. Or what the more likely thing is that we build in a protocol, and then all of the like third party sites figure out how to do it before we do. That's an option too. Okay, I can let people know that the semi-annual sale now at Luxor is cheaper than the group rates and also refundable if you change or modify your trip before 10/5. So we are directing you to buy directly on the Luxor site using the semi-annual sale button. An email will go out with this information to employees tomorrow AM. Yeah, let's get that out into the next gold foil press too. Reality. Question: will there be future airdrops by holding assets for the arcade and future tokenomics? They can all be different. I don't know how we're going to do each one, but Matt and I own we own more than 51% of this company. So Matt and I can go exercise control over what it does and how it operates. And both Matt and I are extremely grateful to this community. And, as part of that, we keep thinking, how do we provide more value back to the token holders, card holders, and landowners and node owners? How do we funnel as much value into this ecosystem as possible? And when we create other things, how do we make sure that the people that helped us get to the point where we could support more than one game are getting value for that too? So I don't want to tell you exactly what we'll do. When we release white papers, you'll see exactly what we do. But I can tell you that airdrops is certainly discussed very frequently about all those. How was NFT NYC and the response interest in Splinterlands? It was pretty cool. We were kind of tucked away in the furthest corner. I don't know how we got there. It wasn't a great spot, and yet even still, we had people like plowing into the booth all day long for 4 days straight. And some of them were vendors trying to sell us stuff. A handful were players, and they, came and swang by and talked to us about their love of their game. We met a bunch of whales, and we met a bunch of guilds, and so had some great conversations around those, and I'm excited for that. Solidified some relationships, in part just getting to know folks at Nifty Arcade more. Like they hung out at the booth a lot, and I'm really impressed with them. So, I look at that, like Matt was just like grinning ear to ear, geeking out about this thing the whole time. And John's out there sort of glad handing, and there's some partnerships and people that were there that I wouldn't normally get to see. So all of that stuff I thought went really well. So I liked it, and I'm hoping that we're still in this bear, and I think it's hard for people to make big purchases in bear markets. I haven't gone back to do the analysis, but that's my kind of like my gut check is that it almost doesn't matter if you're at like 20,000. Like in some ways, if you were at like 70,000 and price was declining, that might actually be worse than being at like 30,000 Bitcoin and price is on the rise. People tend to like pucker up when it comes to prices declining, and when prices are ascending, I think they're much more likely to spend because they don't have to worry, will this be worth less next week? So I think the second that like the bear market seems to get shaken off, that we'll see like a really healthy rebound in pack sales and prices. And but again, I don't know those things. I don't have like a crystal ball or anything. I just think that life is generally better in a bull market than in a bear market. Who owns the other 49% of the company? Is it private investors or other employees? There's some other employees, or there are employees that own some. There's a small contingent of private investors, and it's not 49%. Matt, I just said Matt and I own more than 51%. So I'm not comfortable giving like what is the exact equity ownership, but it's a mix of a few dozen investors and some of our employees. Lunacy System is asking, I have a question. Have you met Durium's Pokemon, or was his appearance in Twitch chat totally spontaneous? I've been a long time viewer of the channel. I have not personally met or spoken with them to my knowledge. Question, any thoughts on attaching QR codes, amiibo-esque features, Nintendo figures that unlock characters to the figurines for Splinterfest? That would be rad. Yeah, we've looked at turning like some of the figures into NFTs themselves, and I don't know what that'll look like. I don't know that we can get that done by October, but anything from like the cards to the characters to like take your camera, put it over a QR code, and have it turn into like Tyrus Palladium dancing and battling. Any of those things could be it. All right, guys, we're out of questions, so I think I'm going to end it early here. It is 10 p.m. my time, and I'm an old man, so I'm going to call it quits. I'm grateful to this community. We heard from some like really just passionate people, from WeirdBeard and Cryptomancer to Travel Girl. Chi-Chi really took the cake tonight with just being so on point for who we are as a company and what we're trying to do and the lives we're trying to change. And I'm grateful to the folks that work here. I'm grateful for the folks that play here, and we're doing everything we can to bring as much value into this ecosystem as possible. And I think that there's some big stuff that's coming, and I know that we've been saying that for a while, but big deals with big organizations take time to come together. But just want to say thank you, everybody. Thanks for helping make this dream and this mission possible. And we'll be here not next week, but the week after. So here's hoping you guys have a 4th of July for those that celebrate it. Congratulations, and have a good time, and be safe. Don't make terrible decisions. And we'll be with you in 2 weeks, and otherwise we'll be here and doing awesome stuff. All right. Thanks, everybody. Much love, and have a good night.
Thank you.